everyone, and welcome to The Theorist, here with your host, JC Botero67, and today I have a special guest on the show, Alex Sinclaire.
Hi, everybody.
So that's Alex, and today we're going to review Revelations chapter 47. So, we're just going to get right down to the down and dirty, because literally this quote was just, perfect. So, I'll go ahead and just read it. Grunting and sharp slaps echoed down the hall and into the foyer, Ciel not needing any explanation for what was causing it. A smile played at the corner of his lips, and his right hand twitched with a desire to once again wrap his fingers around the grip of a foil. So, when I first read that, I was just like, whoa, say what? Because that does not sound like... I mean, this is obviously fencing, but when I first read it, I was just like, oh, well, someone's just getting it on at the Midford estate.
It makes you wonder, out of all the people it could have been getting it on, who would it have been?
Oh, very good point. Wait, was that just...
There are just so many people living there, so it's like, take your pick, really.
Okay. Wait, okay. I'm hearing, random noises. For a second, I thought Brody was woofing. Sorry, this is, totally random, totally not part of the review. It's just, yeah, I just heard this, noise. Okay, anyway. So, yeah. Good question as to who it was. I mean, I don't know, man. You know I'm totally up for Celium, but of course, Ciel's just coming into the estate, so there's no way it would have been him. But yeah, this is fencing. So it actually turns out to be Lizzie and her brother Edward. And, I mean, at first I really wanted it to be Spears fencing, because I wanted the Spears reappearance, and that way he can forgive Ciel and whatnot, but, you know, that's not what happened.
I wonder if Spears even knows how to fence, because being a preacher, he's not supposed to, I think.
Ah, I see. That'd be so kick-ass if he could fence, though.
Right?
Yes. Alright, so then, speaking of Edward, he greets Ciel and is just all like, hey Ciel, long time no see. And when Edward greeted Ciel, my immediate thought was, oh my gosh, Aloise and him mentioning that Edward has a 9-inch monster. And so Ciel remembered that too, and here's this big ol' quote that I'll go ahead and read. The memory of Aloise rolling around on his bed, cackling about his voyeuristic exploits in the men's locker room, flitted through the angel's mind. As he stared up into the emerald orbs, the phrase, 9-inch monster, kept playing over and over again in his head, and he couldn't help himself but take a quick glance down at the blonde's groin. Thankfully, the fencing jacket Edward wore provided more than enough padding, and nothing was visible beneath the thick fabric. Alex.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
For some reason, I felt like that quote kept going, so I was like, you didn't have to stop, I'm still here.
Oh, okay. That's so funny.
I wish I had a memory as good as yours, because I had completely forgotten that. I mean, it's been 20 chapters since that happened, so...
Oh, yes.
It was nice to just bring that back up, although, if Alois himself had done it, that would have been nice, too, but...
Oh, right, if Aloise's spirit was kind of wandering around and be like, hey, Ciel.
Yeah, because he's not around nearly enough, so...
Yeah, we miss him. But yeah, what was another... Oh, okay, yeah, I had written in my notes, too. I'm like, good thing Sebastian wasn't there, because he totally would have noticed Ciel checking out Edward. That would have been interesting. Because then, you know how... It was a few chapters, I think. Maybe it was 2 chapters or something, when Sebastian was super jealous, and, he's gonna punish Ciel. And it was
I remember that.
Sexy
okay.
hotness, yeah. See, that could have happened, too. I just thought about that. Anyway. You had... some notes about Lizzie, so you can go ahead and share with everybody what your thoughts were.
Well, pretty much my main thought was I feel bad for Lizzie, because her boyfriend knows about CL and the demons and everything, and her mom knows. I'm assuming her dad probably knows, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think her brother knows, but it's not fair for Lizzie, because she's CL's best friend, and she's dating Dagger, who is CL's other friend / confidant, I suppose. So it's just kind of crappy the way that she's left out of the loop.
Yeah. Very true, very true. And then when she finds out, I mean, she's gonna be upset with everybody because they didn't tell her shit.
I wonder who she's going to be more upset at, though. Like, Ciel, because he's her best friend, or her mom, because, I mean, that's her mom, and she didn't tell her this. And she's like, well, you're going to take over my role of chief medical examiner, but I'm not going to tell you why. I'm not going to let you go do anything else.
Yeah.
So it's just like, are you being a bitch to me, or are you, like, what's going on here?
Or there's also Dagger, who's like her boyfriend, and they seem to be pretty serious, because I've predicted before that I could see them getting married toward the end of this story, so...
I could see that, and I just had another, like, prediction.
Oh, okay, cool. Share it.
Like, if Ciel were to die, like, permanently, somehow, it'd be interesting if somehow his spirit was reincarnated as, like, Lizzie and Dagger's baby or something.
Ooh, I like that.
It's a random idea, but I feel like it would kind of make sense at some level.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Good thinking. Good predicting there. So, moving along, this story was full of, like, great quotes and, like, great narration bits and stuff, and so I don't want to, like, go through and read all of them, but I'll go ahead and just summarize these few ones. So, Edward eventually goes off to freshen up because he has a date with Paula, and Ciel and Lizzie go to the kitchen, and, I don't know, they're drinking water. They're talking and stuff. Okay. And so then Edward comes in, and he sees, like, Ciel holding Lizzie's hand, and Edward is all like, oh, Ciel, if I didn't know better, I'd think you were, like, trying to hit on my sister. And so Edward, being changed and everything, now, like, the bulge in his pants is a little bit more visible, or the slight bulge, I guess, and so Ciel is trying hard not to see it. So, yeah.
He can let his eye wander. Sebastian's not there. It's fine.
Exactly, right? I wish Eloise were here, because he would totally be teasing Ciel. Like...
There would be so much good commentary from Aloise's peanut gallery. It would have just been fantastic. If AnimeCujo does, like, a spin-off of this, it could just be Aloise walking around as a spirit, just commenting on everything.
Right? That's
like the audio commentary on DVDs, but with Eloise.
Oh my gosh! That's, like, so brilliant. I love it.
Because I would love to know what he thinks about all of these things going on.
I know. You know what? Seriously, we could just get together and write a one-shot on this chapter and just include all the bits that we think Eloise would say and stuff.
We should.
We should do it.
That would be fantastic.
Oh my gosh, let's.
Then maybe, like, Ghost Eloise, like, shipping Edward and Ciel.
Dude, I like that. This is, like, so brilliant. We're just getting great ideas from this.
Second time's the charm.
I know, right? Alrighty. So, what Alex means by that, we tried recording this yesterday, and it totally just recorded Alex and totally left me out of the picture. So anyway, I found this other recorder, and now you can hear both of us, obviously. So, it's sad that we didn't get to keep a full copy of the other one, but hey, this one's turning out much better, like I said, because we're getting brilliant ideas.
And it's not as, like, it's not as awkward, like, because we're so used to talking to each other now.
I know, right?
I think I've cut back on my ums significantly.
I think so, too. I think for me. Or, like, the awkward pauses or something.
Yeah.
I'm big on those. Anyway. So, moving along with these epic quote things. So, Lizzie and Dagger, at the end of their fencing match, like, Edward hands her something, you know, because she won. Because she's, like, unbeatable, pretty much.
I think you just said Lizzie and Dagger a second ago.
Lizzie and Dagger? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Lizzie and Edward.
Everyone's gonna be so confused.
I know. No, I've done this before, too. I don't remember what chapter it was, and I literally said Drossel and not Dagger. And so I had to, like, I was listening to it, and I had posted it on YouTube already, and I was like, oh, shoot. So I had to, like, put in the notes, like, in big letters, I'm like, read this first before you read the review, that I had said Drossel, and I totally meant Dagger.
I think I remember that, too, actually.
That's, like, so... I don't know what popped into my head, but Drossel was on my mind, I guess. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. So with Lizzie and... I almost said Dagger again. This is like too funny. Okay, Lizzie and Edward. Okay, and so what Edward gave Lizzie ended up being this like little foil pack thing, and it was Edward's condom. And so CL's just all like, you bet your brother his condom? Like, why would you do something like that? And then the reason was because Lizzie didn't want Edward using it on his date today because Paula is like her best friend, and so she's, I guess, trying to protect Paula or something, because Edward is like a total ladies' man. So, and I know yesterday when we tried recording this, you had mentioned something about Lizzie like judging these girls, and I mean Paula is one of them.
Yeah, she pretty much calls them all whores. Like, it's Edward's harem of, girls that he just, like, goes and screws and then doesn't commit. And it's like, girl, your friend's going out with him. Like, think twice before you just call your friend a whore.
But see, like I said before, Paula's probably the exception to the rule.
And now it's going to be all cheesy, and he's probably going to end up, like, falling in love with Paula because they didn't have sex, so they actually had to talk. For once, right. Instead of just, well, I'm going to stick my penis inside you and then leave. It's like, well, now you can talk to me.
That's true. And then there could be another wedding. And it could be just like a joint wedding of the Midford siblings. Okay. Anyway.
That's going to be very expensive for her parents.
Oh, that's true. Well, hey, the moms...
They have the money.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say. What else was I going to point out? Oh, yeah, and then I remembered saying, you had said that, oh, Lizzie's not a very good friend, because, like, she's calling, like, these people whores, and, like, Paul is among them. And then I remembered Black Rose Eden's Promises, where Lizzie and Aloise have that crazy relationship where they just call each other a bitch and whore, and they're, like, best buds.
I love that, though. That's so fantastic.
It is. I love it, too.
That's how I am with a lot of my friends. Like, it's like, all right, shut up. Like, whatever.
That's funny. Or like Mean Girls. Boo you. I just remember that. Great
I love that movie.
It is a very good movie.
She doesn't even go here.
Right? I'm Glen Coco. Oh wait, well that's the parody. Okay, there's this parody. I'm gonna have to like send it to you. Random side note. Anyway.
I just want to interject that
yes.
AnimeCujo's idea of Lizzie winning his condom was ingenious, because I don't think anyone's done that before.
Oh, yes. I remember we talked about this yesterday, too. Very awesome. Very good idea. Alright, so continuing on with this review, CL's just kind of like, oh, it's a shame, like, this condom isn't going to be of good use anymore. And the thing is, I forgot to comment, the condom is, like, a special kind, because Edward has a 9-inch monster, so it's, like, a special kind that he uses, so there's really no way of him to, like, go to a store to buy some and then use with Paula. So, I just wanted to point that out real quick. And then, I know you had said, well, I guess I'll bring that up later on, because we haven't mentioned him yet. But yeah, CL's like, oh, we could, Sebastian and I could put it to good use. And then Lizzie slaps CL's hand away, and she's like, like, Dagger's coming over, so we're gonna use it.
And now we, of course, know that, Dagger has at least what Edward has down there, so...
Right?
And I mean, Dagger's pretty sexy to begin with, so
yeah.
Add a large tool to that, it's just perfect.
There you go. Alright. So
although, like, why do all the men around there seem to have the same size junk? Like, Sebastian, Dagger, and Edward are all interchangeable condoms.
Right? And
unless CL wanted it for himself, but I highly doubt that. Yeah.
And then there's William, too. I know we talked about him yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
He's probably got it, yeah.
At least that. So, anyway.
Yeah, okay. Coming down to a more kind of sadder and unexpected part of the chapter, you can go ahead and give your spiel on it.
Sebastian's breakdown. Mm-hmm. He's all emotional because he doesn't want to go through with this, and he doesn't want to see CL get hurt by going to hell to try to get his parents' souls back. Mm-hmm. And he's just sitting there crying uncontrollably. And for me, it was a little, I don't want to say awkward, but like when you picture Sebastian, you picture him as like the, I just had a brain fart. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm trying to think of the opposite of the ume, but I can't. Whatever.
Oh, you mean the seme uke thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what I said. All right, anyway.
No, it's okay. You said ume, you combined the two.
I did, for some reason.
That's awesome. Okay.
Does that mean he's interchangeable, top and bottom? I suppose I just made a new word.
I know, I like that. That's awesome.
But you always picture him as the more masculine, kind of emotional rock to Ciel's kind of wishy-washy, like, I'm so sad. It's like you picture Sebastian as, you need to stop crying and just buck up and do this. And it's interesting to watch Sebastian have these kind of human emotions when he's been a demon for so long, you know?
Right. I know, Ciel's, like, completely changed him. I mean, that's obvious to see.
And it's funny because Ciel's getting a little more, like, bold with, you know, things he's doing. He's not going to sit there and be like, fine, I won't do this. He's like, I'm going to do this, and you're going to shut up and deal with it.
Right.
Like, he's not giving Sebastian a choice, really. It's like, I'm going to go, and you can either help me or get out of my way.
Pretty much.
And when, this ties into one of your predictions for later on, but when Sebastian was having his meltdown, I thought perhaps he might destroy the vial of the first snake's venom, so Ciel didn't have a weapon to go down there with, so it would try to dissuade Ciel from, you know, risking his life by going down there.
Right. And then to brighten up the mood a bit, so there's this little bit of narration that I'm going to read, and, of course, it's going to deal with Cielium when I comment on it, so let me read it first. Sebastian growled under his breath, eyes flashing a glowing magenta at the thought of the priest. It's not that the demon didn't like the holy man. In reality, he actually respected the way he kept true to the vows he had given to the church. There weren't many in the world who could so selflessly devote their lives to Christ, and even fewer who would be able to serve as the demon slayer's spiritual advisor. However, it was the closeness of the bond between Ciel and Father Spears which annoyed the demon to no end. And so, what was it? AnimeCujo had posted on Facebook, upcoming one-shots that she was going to work on, and then, like, the ASASS sequel. And then I commented on there and was like, oh, because I think she asked if you guys have any suggestions for what you want me to write, like, feel free to, like, comment. And so, of course, I commented and was like, oh, you know what I want, and it's Cielium. And so she was going to write a Cielium one-shot, in this reality. So, father and ward, like, the forbidden, taboo relationship. But then she came up with another idea, so unrelated to Revelations. But I still like the idea of this forbidden love, so I'm actually writing a one-shot. And I'm just like, dude, this one-shot is going to prove you wrong, Sebastian, because William is not going to keep true to those vows to the church. Just saying.
I am very much looking forward to this one-shot. And I'm so glad we're doing this project.
I know, yeah. So I guess we can go ahead and tell people. So, Alex, AnimeCujo, and myself are going to work on this, what did I call it? The Cielium Drabbles project, or I guess the Cielium one-shot project?
Yeah, we couldn't go Drabbles, because it's only 100 words, and that's not fair. You can't get enough sexy time in 100 words.
Exactly. And so, yeah, my one-shot, it's like, I was more than 100 words in, probably like 300 words in, and it's like, I still hadn't gotten to when, like, Ciel and Sebastian, goodness gracious, not Sebastian, William, when they, like, meet up, and then it gets all, crazy and sexy. So
I'm curious now how many words mine has.
Ooh, I know.
Like, I want to know, because I'm not very far in. I mean, he's not even in the house yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm 314 words.
Okay.
So, my long-winded ass, taking forever.
Yeah. Hey, no, I'm taking forever, too. Like, I mean, it's just starting to lead into, like, the sexy hotness. Like, they've already shared the kiss and make-out.
I kind of want to do, like, a whole... I'm going to turn my one-shot into a fan fiction, possibly.
Oh my gosh, right?
Because I just want it to continue forever.
Just this endless smuttiness, hotness stuff.
Yes.
Okay. Anyway. straying away from Celium now, even though it is a beautiful topic.
We're coming to the end of Revelations.
I know.
Which is a sad thought.
It is very bittersweet. There's like about 10 to 13 chapters left, because right now we're at 47. I think it would be awesome for it to end on an even number and end at chapter 60.
I'm not going to give her a choice. She's
including
gonna have
the epilogue. Should that include the epilogue, or should it be 60 chapters and an epilogue?
Do you count an epilogue as a chapter?
I would. And it would
all right,
because it'd be like
60.
61. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You've heard our opinion and what we want, AnimeCujo, so we look forward to this. If you have to combine a chapter or two, do it, because we want it to end on a perfect 60.
Exactly. We're fine with long chapters. I'll read it.
Right? And if not, if you end on random chapter 63 or something, we'll still love you. It's okay.
Just a little bit less.
Aww.
No, I'm just joking.
Alrighty. So, yeah, that's one of the things she mentioned in her author's note. She also wrote in, like, oh, haha, I had Ciel run into Edward, and I'm just like, that was, like, beautiful. But, like, we had talked before, me and Alex, like, we're just like, oh, you know, if Eloise would have been there, that would have been, like, even awesomer.
Too much fantasticness would come from that.
Yes.
The chapter would have ended up being, like, hundreds and hundreds of words longer if Eloise was there.
Right? That's so funny. And then, oh yeah, so then she mentioned, because Sebastian, he's gonna go confront Spears, and so obviously they're probably gonna get into some big ol' fight, and I mean, that's about the only prediction that I made in my notes, but you, Alex, have something more to that. So.
I do. I said, due to, obviously Spears, even though he's mad at Ciel, is, you know, he still loves him in a either fatherly way, if you would think about it in terms of the actual fan fiction, or in a, you know, not so fatherly way, if we want to think about it in J.C. Botero terms.
Because he's jealous.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Bastion obviously loves Ciel, so they are going to end up coming to, or in my opinion, they'll end up coming to a temporary alliance, as uncomfortable as it will be for both of them, just for Ciel's sake, because they don't want him distracted when he goes into hell thinking about, oh, my boyfriend and the person that practically raised me hate each other. Because that's just going to cause him to, you know, not focus, and he's going to end up getting hurt, and then they're going to feel like crap. So.
Very good point. And then, I guess to finish this off, I know you had a different prediction as to how Sebastian could reach Angeldom, because I know I had made my prediction, like, I think for the past 2 reviews, I had made a prediction on how I thought, or actually it was just the last one, sorry, I'm just, like, really confusing and rambling. So yeah, last chapter, 46, like, in that review, I had predicted how I think Sebastian would reach Angeldom, but you have a different perspective, so.
I do. My idea is essentially Sebastian sacrificing himself to save Ciel's life. Because we all know, as Sebastian had said earlier, when a demon dies, there's nothing, essentially. It's pretty much just over. Because they're not technically, you know, living, so they're not going to go heaven or hell. So,
right.
But if Ciel was able to bring Alois to heaven by praying for him, so my thought was, if Sebastian died, could Ciel pray to save Sebastian, and that would turn him into an angel? Because a demon's never sacrificed himself to save someone that they are in love with. I don't even know if a demon knows what love is. So it would be interesting if, by sacrificing his existence, he somehow was able to progress to becoming an angel.
Right. And then I guess I'll just kind of resum what I've said before. Like, I figured, oh, okay, like that snake venom that we read about in the previous chapter, maybe that accidentally gets on Sebastian somehow or something. Because it's going to be, like, a crazy mess down there, like, all this, like, fighting and stuff. And so somehow it could get on Sebastian, and then that could hurt him severely, or maybe kill him. And then, as Ciel had prayed for Alois, you know, he would do the same thing for Sebastian, and then suddenly, like, Sebastian becomes an angel, and he and Ciel can be together forever. And I wish I knew the words to that Rick Astley song. Maybe I'll just look up lyrics, and I'll just, like, randomly sing it, because I'm in the mood to sing it. Okay, and then while I'm looking that up, I guess I'll mention my other the other way I think it could go is that, like, Ciel would die, but because, you know, he is the descendant of Michael, like, maybe he has, like, some kind of privilege of becoming an angel. And so Alois, because he is that spirit, like, he would know about, like, the process that Ciel's going through. And he could tell Sebastian and be like, yo, don't kill yourself, buddy. Like, Ciel's coming back.
I had the same thought as you did over the last couple chapters. My theory just kind of popped up while reading this last one. But they're both very good ideas, and I'm hoping that it's not going to end in tragedy. But then again, a lot of things do, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
But for this story, I'm hoping for a happy ending.
Yes. And you know what I just remembered? We totally forgot to talk about it. The reunion between Alois and Claude.
Oh, that's right. We did forget to talk about that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Alois is accompanying Ciel into hell because he's immortal, technically. If he dies in hell, he can't technically die. Mm-hmm. He would just kind of... I don't know what would happen exactly. Like, just kind of sit back up and be like, hey, I'm still alive.
Right.
Not sure. But my idea was, since Claude killed him and had Alois' soul ripped away from him by Ciel...
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, Claude's pissed, so he's going to go after Ciel the minute he senses that Ciel's down there.
Right.
Although, it might take a little while, because in the last chapter, I believe, Sebastian had Ciel drink his blood, so he didn't smell so much like an angel.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, Alois is going to be there with Ciel, and then Claude's going to show up, and then Alois is going to kick Claude's ass, because Alois is pissed. You know, because it's like, well, you know, we were having a good time, and then you killed me? What the hell's this crap?
Right?
So,
Seriously.
Probably said just like that, too.
I know, I like that. I was just gonna point out that randomly reminds me of the Gem parody of Jizz. Like, I could see that line being used.
I love it.
In one of those parody videos, like... Okay. And I found Together Forever, like, I'm just gonna sing that one little chorus part thing, I guess. You can sing with me if you'd like. Okay, that was like so awkward. Okay. Together forever and never to part. Together forever we two. And don't you know I would move heaven and earth to be together forever with you. Okay, I'm done.
That was fantastic.
Thank you. I totally didn't like... You know, I sing in my church choir, and, like, you know, I'm always like, oh, okay, I should have, like, the proper, like, you know, like, the mouth shape and stuff for, like, certain words. Yeah, this one, it was just kind of, like, whatever. Taking a break from church choir.
Just one little snippet,
yes.
that wasn't in the chapter that I was kind of expecting, and something I built off of your last review when you had brought up Ciel taking a will to the Midford estate.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't find out yet why he's there.
Yes.
And to me, it just kind of seemed kind of last minute, like, oh, well, I'm in the car, I might as well go do this.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not sure if it's enough time for him to have written a will, or, you know, if he snuck it in the car past Sebastian, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought maybe he'd possibly ask Frances Midford, who, for those of you not in the know, is Lizzie's mother, either for some sort of favor or telling her, you know, she needs to be prepped this day to this day for, like, immediate surgery in case something goes wrong and they can get out in time, so she could potentially save his life if something bad is to happen.
Right.
And also, like, if they show up, like, something bad does happen, and they show up and Ciel's angel wings are flapping around and he's bleeding to death, that would be a good way to incorporate Lizzie finally finding out the big secret, because I don't think AnimeCujo's going to let it go to the end where she doesn't know.
Absolutely, yeah. That's very true.
So that's pretty much all I wanted to talk to about that. But
yeah, I know, I was totally forgetting about that too. Because, yeah, when I, like, first read, you know, the end of last chapter and, you know, Ciel's like, oh, I'm going to go to the Midfords because I feel something wrong might happen while I'm down in hell. So I figured, oh, okay, like, he's probably going to, like, leave some will or something. But I like your perspective on the fact that if something does happen to him down there and he has to be brought back up and, like, he has to go through some kind of surgery, that, you know, Frances would be available to do that for him. So, very good perspective.
Also, if he was to leave a will, I feel he would probably just leave it with his aunt.
That's true. Yeah.
But at the same time, does she know about him being an angel? I don't remember.
She does because she knew about Vincent.
Oh, that's right.
She was always like, oh, like, be careful, like, with the whole fencing thing, because that was the strenuous exercise on his shoulders.
Also, something that I'm wondering if it'll come into play later is throughout the whole beginning, the fact that his angel progression was happening so fast. Like, I'm wondering if that, like, tainted him somehow. So he might not technically be able to become an angel, or maybe he'll become part angel, part demon because he's been drinking Sebastian's blood. I don't know.
I like that. And you just came up with it, like, right now? Or
I did, like, just randomly. So.
I know. See, that always happens to me, too, because I'm like, oh, okay, like, I make my notes, and then, like, suddenly when I'm giving the review, I'm like, oh, whoa, I just came up with, like, this clever idea, and I'm just kind of babbling. I don't know how it just, like, came to my mind. Like, I don't know how I could think about it so quickly in a matter of seconds.
Right? Like, it just shows up, and it's like, I haven't thought about, like, the early chapters in a long time, so it's like, where did this come from?
See, you have a better memory than I do. Because you were saying, like, I remember the whole 9-inch monster from 20 chapters back, and now you're thinking back to, like, the very beginnings of the story. So that's awesome. The mind is amazing and mysterious.
It is. And I'm wondering if this never-ending winter thing is going to have some sort of ill effect on something, because it's been winter forever now.
Like, in the story?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Because in the beginning of this chapter, I believe, CL said, even though the calendar kept going on, it was still winter and the trees hadn't bloomed yet on the Minford estate.
Oh. It's Armageddon. Like, that's probably what it is.
Yeah.
Maybe. That's the only thing I could think of. And it would make sense, I guess.
It would. Yeah, technically it would. I'm wondering if Satan's going to try to convince him to switch sides. Because I know everyone's always concerned about, if CL's doing something bad, then he might, sway over to the other side. So I'm wondering if that's going to be a thing.
That's very
I'll release your parents if you join me and, forsake everything else. But
oh. And then CL could be like, okay, I'll do it, and then turn against Satan.
Yeah, like stab him in the neck with something he pulled out of nowhere, I guess. I don't know.
Like the little dagger thing that he has and, like, combine it with the venom?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. We could just keep talking about all these theories, man.
I know, right? They keep popping up. Like, these are all, like, just things I'm thinking of.
I know, I love it. And we're, like, reaching 34 minutes, like, right now. So.
I know, it's, like, 10 minutes longer than yesterday.
I know. It's nuts. So I guess we'll go ahead and leave it at that, and then I would love to have you back for the next review, because this was
I would love to be back.
Super
this is
awesome.
Fun.
Yes. I had a blast doing this. So thank you for being my special guest.
You're very welcome.
And I'll have you back for sure.
I look forward to it.
All right. Well, with that being said, go ahead and leave comments below. Give my Facebook and Twitter page a like. I should provide a link to your blog. I'll do that.
You should. I also have a YouTube account too.
Okay. Awesome.
There's nothing really on it, but there will be stuff coming up. So
sweet. So yeah, I'll post all those links so you guys can check them out, and we'll catch you in the next review, chapter 48. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.